Welcome back, everyone. Today we are over here at Epic Universe to do another deep dive into another one of the worlds here. And today we are focused on Celestial Park. Now this is a very unique land because it's the only one that is kind of Universal Creative making up their own story. All of the other portals will bring you to kind of already pre-done IPs, and you can kind of expect to see certain things in there where they had to design and come up with the entire story of Celestial Park. And it's very interesting to me. I think there's a lot of emotion to it because it's so personalized. But either way, we are digging fully into Celestial Park today. Hopefully you guys enjoy today's video. Make sure if you do enjoy hanging out with me here today to give this video a big thumbs up. Now let's go ahead and start with the heart of Epic Universe. One of my favorite aspects about Celestial Park is the fact that it is what you are introduced into, obviously. But as you walk through this giant portal basically underneath the Chronos, you will hear the heartbeat of Celestial Park. That is what they call it. So take a listen here. You hear that pounding sound? That is the heartbeat that you are introduced into. And tell me another park with as beautiful of a view as Celestial Park's intro right now as you walk into Epic Universe. The Helios straight out in the background. You have the fire and water lanterns lit right there. Luna is introducing you into the park. It is just beautiful Atlantic right here. Again, we're gonna cover all of this in just a second, but just take in the sights and sounds of Celestial Park right now. Absolutely beautiful. Now, obviously, we just came in, but this is the backside of the Chronos. And again, you check in right over down there. You have two sides between security and kind of your ticket checkpoints. But immediately when you walk in, you are going to have two sides of shopping. Right over to our left, you're going to see the Other Worlds Mercantile, which we'll check out in just a second. And then a little bit more crammed with items here is the Sensorium Emporium, North Star Wintry Wonders, and a Starbucks all over here to the right-hand side as you walk in. Upstairs, I think that's got to be VIP or something because there are some benches. I can see umbrellas. We don't totally know, but you do have restrooms right as soon as you get inside as well. But let's go take a quick look at the Sensorium Emporium and some of the stuff over here to the right. As we head into the Sensorium Emporium, you will get a little bit of everything in here. But the design is just beautiful. And again, it is attached to the North Star Wintry Wonders, which is pretty much your Christmas shop that you could imagine you would find. But again, not a ton of merchandise in here. If you are looking for a lot of merch, I will show you. It will be over in the other store. But there's a lot of fun little Easter eggs in here. And we can see one right there right now. Right there on the conveyor belt over on the Christmas side, you can see Earl the Squirrel. Also, there's Captain Cacao. Absolutely love that. You have nutcrackers, pillows, things that you may have seen around the park, and a few new items as well. But again, this side is kind of the more Christmas theme that you find around all of the Universal parks. You will find some merchandise over here that you will find throughout the park, but again, definitely not as much as you will over in the other shops. You have this little display right here in the window. Oh, there goes Earl again too. All these little Easter eggs. Oh, there's a little painting of him right there as well. Now again, this isn't a shopping vlog, so we aren't going to be taking you guys along with all of the merchandise, but I just wanted to point out, you can see just immediately, we have Isle of Berk stuff right here. We have Harry Potter right here to our left. We have Mario over there as well. So they basically bring all of the worlds in, just a little bit of merch along the way if you guys are looking to pick something up. But again, very beautifully designed in here, kind of steampunk-esque, if you will. But as you come back outside, look up at the ceilings. You will find some fun designs up along the roof. But right next to us, you will find Starbucks. One of a few Starbucks actually inside of this park. And we will go ahead, go inside. I want to show you one thing about this one. Because first of all, it is absolutely beautiful. As you can see by the design here, that fits right in with Celestial Park. Again, just looking at the ceilings. But more importantly, I want to point this out. If you come over, you can actually get small little ornaments for Starbucks. But take a look at this mug. It is completely designed with Epic Universe. And thanks to April for letting me know. This is the only place that you can buy something that has Pizza Moon merch on it right now. And right there you can see Pizza Moon but you can see all of the worlds represented on here. Dark Universe here on the back looks just absolutely beautiful. Stardust as well. So if you want Celestial Park merch, unfortunately this is the only place that you can get stuff that has specific IP things, kind of, if you will, pertaining to the land here. It's going to be on this mug right here. You do have some seating outside of Starbucks that you can see along the path, as well as one of their beautifully designed benches that you will find throughout Celestial Park. But now we're going to head over to the other side, show you what is going on as soon as you walk in if you were to take a left. Now don't forget about this view. Before you actually leave this front hub, you can actually come take a look at the entire Celestial Park design. And I'm telling you, this is so beautiful. You have the flowing water, you have different tiers and levels, you have plants there, and the way it all just like works and vibes, like I don't even know. It is so incredibly cool. The camera doesn't do it justice, I promise you. Just come take a look at this view when you guys come into this park. And as you are going to the left, you can see that the portals that we would be heading towards would be Super Nintendo and Dark Universe. If you were to go to the right, again, it would be right there is Isle of Berk, and then in the back would be the Ministry of Magic. You can kind of see the buildings of Paris like right there. So depending on which direction you go, we'll give you kind of a quicker route over there. But in all honesty, it's very easy to get to the portals once you are in a Celestial. Now again, this is Other Worlds Mercantile, and this is basically the idea that they have gotten all of these fun pieces of merchandise from all of the other worlds. As you can see up there, you can see the Isle of Berk, Dark Universe, Super Nintendo, and the Wizarding World. It is all inside here, and this is where you can come if you really want to find a lot of the merch, especially on your way out. You know, if you're like, oh, I wanted to get something, they most likely will have it in here. Not every single piece of merch I don't think is in here from what I've seen, but a lot of it is. I'll kind of just take you through just very briefly. As we walk in, you can already see we are in the Super Nintendo area, but look how much more merch there is. All of these little stands, this whole area is Super Nintendo. So a lot of the merch here. And then as we kind of shift this direction off to the right, you will actually have all like the Epic Universe generic merch here. Again, really hoping to see Celestial Park merch. Beautiful area. I'm so excited to take you guys along today as we are kind of exploring everything here. But again, you see all of the Epic Universe merch. We still even have Nintendo spanning all the way out here. We have this beautifully designed kind of globe. It almost looks like a mini Chronos structure over here in a sense. And then along the back, you are going to see a little variation. So you can start to see Dark Universe all the way back there, all the Dark Universe merch. Also, this is a super cool shirt. Very reminiscent of the Poseidon's Fury shirt when it was closing, but instead it's Curse of the Werewolf. But again, not covering too much merch, but as you kind of come to the end of Dark Universe, you're going to notice it shifts over into the Ministry of Magic over here in this corner. And then as you continue to wrap around one last time, you're going to have Isle of Berk all over there. So you have a little bit of everything in here. And I say a little bit in the sense that you have a little bit of every world in here, but you have a ton of merchandise to go through. Again, I mean, look how much merch you see on the walls, on these little stands. So you can definitely find most likely anything that you are looking for in here. But what I am more excited about, I want to show you this. My shirt and my hat that I have today. It is a little windy. I'm going to have to pop that on here soon. But right here, this is a Moonship Sweets. And like the chocolate company that is, it's right here. It is attached to this building. You can get in from the outside or from here. I love the merchandise in here. It is a fun, beautifully designed story. Let me take you inside. That is Captain Cacao, the one that is navigating us around. But him and Maya, who is actually a girl that he tags along with, they kind of travel about and they actually are exploring and getting kind of the most delicious recipes around the world. It is beautiful. And you can see that little air balloon there on that like emblem. I'll show you a closer look. But that's basically how they're traveling. They're going around, and you can see the giant design here with Captain Cacao. We are basically in the ship here going through. Also some really fun details over there I'm going to show you in just a second. It's just a super beautifully well-designed store. The idea that we have such a unique character to bring meaning and life to just a sweet store. It's not just some random sweets, but there's a whole story behind it, and they made this character and the plush had sold out early during previews, like I think even before AP previews. I think during team member previews they had sold out. But yeah, this is honestly beautiful. But you can see right here, again, there is Captain Cacao and Maya right there that are leading this journey to kind of, again, bring you these fun, delicious sweets and basically bring you the best recipes that they can. So right here is the hat that I have on my backpack there. And then the shirt that I'm wearing is right there. And I also have this long sleeve. I actually need to swap it out. I got a large. I'm actually gonna need an XL. So I will tell you that it runs a little small. I think the long sleeves there. The t-shirts were totally fine. I have a large on right now. Fits me totally fine. I'm about 6 foot tall. Wear a little small for the long sleeve if you guys are purchasing them. But yeah, beautifully designed merch here. Even right here, you can see on the mugs. Again, not a merch video, but it just looks so good. Now they do have a few extra little chocolatey treats over here that you can find again at some of the other worlds. But if you actually come right over here, there are some recipes. This lava sauce, it actually makes real chocolate. And these are all real ingredients that you definitely can get. So you can see that you can get milk or dark chocolate finely chopped. You have, some kosher salt, heavy cream, and this will actually make a real chocolate recipe, which I think is super fun. And I also love that you have the map here. You have the 7-layer belt. You've got over at the top the Bananas Nebula. It's super funny. But again, if you're coming in here, you are most likely looking for the treats, and you have chocolates, you got caramel apples, you got fudge, a little bit of everything. And they do have some specifically designed things here for, again, Captain Cacao and the whole Moonship Sweets here. But again, beautifully well designed. Love the story. I don't know, I'm in love with this place. I hope they continue to release more and more merch, and I really hope they bring back the plush that sold out. The last thing I do want to point out is over here, the door. You can see the door for Maya there. Down here, you can see the CC for Captain Cacao. He is quite small, as you can see the size, but then all the way at the bottom, from what I understand, those initials ML is actually the initials of the one that designed the whole story here. The last thing I'll point out as we are leaving is up top, you see all of those stars? They're meant to be like marshmallows. And you can see how some of them look like they're a little browned and as if they've been toasted. And that is how they float around. It's beautiful. Also, Captain Cacao, from what I was told, was basically brought to life by the Celestials. He was this bear, and I think it was dark chocolate. I think he was a dark chocolate bear, and they used their magic to bring him to life. So beautiful story. But again, as you come out, you can see their ship there that they will traverse around. Now, we need to actually get more into Celestial Park. We have just been in the beginning here of this beautiful land. Now, as we are traversing off here to the left, we have some open land over here, which I would love to see in the future. Maybe another portal, maybe an expansion to Mario at some point. But I feel like we could definitely see another portal here. It'd be very early in the line. But again, you have all this design here. I could see it being something. Maybe one day. Obviously, the park is not even open yet. So here I am thinking about the future, of course. But right next door, you do have Atlantic, which is one of the 2 sit-down restaurants that you will find in all of Epic Universe. And when I say sit-down restaurant, it's, you sit and you're gonna have, a server. A lot of the restaurants here are all sit-down restaurants in a sense, but, kind of table service where you actually are kind of, again, ordering off of a menu. They're coming to you and you have actual dining service. So this is one of the 2. I'll show you the other one on the other side of Celestial Park. They are both here in Celestial Park. But what I do love about Atlantic as well is the fact that they use kind of like biomechanical fish there instead of just regular fish to kind of display. So let's see if we can get inside. I don't know if it's open right now. It truly is beautiful. Let's see, is the door open? It is perfect. Aha! So as soon as you walk in, you will see a nice bar. You get the smells. It smells very oceany in here, funny enough. And as you come out, already in the background, I'm sure you guys can see all of the park here. Looks like you have a full wine cabinet here. You do have an elevator with a bunch of stairs here. There are a lot of stairs inside of Epic Universe. But look at the beautifully designed fish here. And from what I think I know, they're going to move in time. I think they are on tracks up there, but you can't currently see them moving yet, but I think they're going to be moving along these tracks. They did say that they want this to look like an aquarium, and just like, I don't know, the whole vibe is incredible. Again, up here you can see all of these tables that are available, again, kind of like casual seating right next to the bar. You can see some of their offerings right there. Again, all of the small details here just look amazing. Even on the stairs, look at this. You have these giant seahorses that just look amazing. All of the details inside of the entire park are incredible. I just have a special place for Celestial Park in my heart, you know? Another fun detail though is if you look at the ground, it's almost kind of like sand-like, you know, and it kind of looks almost maybe a little bit more beachy. You know, you have some shells that have washed up on to shore, and as you look over the edge, you're going to see as it transitions into more of like a watery design down there. So it's like you're getting deeper into the water, which I think is a very, very cool and just, again, attention to detail. But right out there, you can also see the flowing water right outside your window. Tell me that's not a beautiful, beautiful view. Look how tall these ceilings are with just glass. You can see kind of the fake bubbles right there as well. I mean, it is just a sight to look at in here, and I cannot wait to dine. We will be bringing you guys along for a dining experience. I do not actually have Nicole here. This is my first solo trip to Epic Universe, and I don't want to do too much without her. I like to do first experiences together, but again, these just look incredible, and the views that you get of Celestial Park is just insane. You know, they wanted you to be able to look out into the park, see everything, and my gosh, I bet you this place would be beautiful in the evenings. I also love right here too, you have a giant diving helmet. All right, so right here, this number is 2025, so this is the actual stand here when you walk in to check in. And down here, a little Easter egg, this is their project number and the building number there. So all of the fun details here are all little Easter eggs. All right, we need to continue our tour. I feel like I could spend hours inside of Atlantic. Now again, you do have a few stairs here, but much like they have thought of everything for access, you do have a ramp over here if you guys need. So both ways to get up. Anytime you see stairs, there is an additional way to get up. Now again, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It is a free way to support the channel. It helps me out a ton. And if you guys do want to see more Epic Universe content or anything here in the Orlando area, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But now I want to talk a little bit about the benches and the greenery that you can kind of see as you are traversing through all of Celestial Park, really. It feels like there are a million plants that they have here, and it wouldn't surprise me if there actually were. But also these benches, like these are like legit benches here, and it's so beautiful. Like this isn't plastic, this is like real. And then you have the wood here. Now one thing I do want to kind of just caution you with is some of them are covered with an umbrella, some are not. When the sun is beating down like crazy, these do heat up and they will keep the heat. Right now it is not bad because we have a little bit of overcast today. We have a lot of clouds up in the sky, as you can see. But if you have a lot of direct sunlight, these will heat up and they do get pretty warm. So keep that in mind if you guys are looking to use them. There are quite a number of them that have like umbrellas above them, so you can at least be shaded, but definitely a lot of them that still don't. Again, more plants all throughout Celestial Park. Well, let's continue on over this direction here, and you can see right here we have our first snack stand. You can see the popcorn logo. I can smell something cooking there. They do have Celestial popcorn, it says. So I am curious what Celestial popcorn is. I wonder if it's just regular popcorn. They're just calling it Celestial because we're in Celestial Park. We also have the new popcorn buckets over here as well. Boy, do those look beautiful. Oh, Nicole is definitely gonna want one of those. Now again, it is pretty basic. You have some pops, you have beers, you have popcorn, but as we kind of continue to traverse through Celestial, we're gonna come up to our first Concierge right over here. Now each world that you see around has their own Concierge stand, which is great news. So you will find a bunch of these around. If you guys need anything, always feel free to head over there. One thing I do want to point out is right now we are blocked off from going down and kind of going near the water in time. I believe we should be able to. So at this moment we can't, but you can see the stairs and everything. So I think you'll be able to kind of traverse along all of the pathways here. But as of right now, I think there is still a little bit of work being done. But when you guys come in the future, hopefully that is open for you, because again, the water structures and the views here are beautiful. Over here by Concierge, you can see Concierge, and you can also see the fuel rod station right over there. So if you guys are fuel rod users, you can check by the Concierge over around the corner. It is tucked away, a little hard to see, but they are over there, so you can swap them out. And as we are now traversing around, your first portal off to the left will be Super Nintendo World. Here we go. That was bad. I need to do with the actual, here we go, right? Anyway, you can see a bunch of the characters here on the actual portal itself. You have Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr., Yoshi, Luigi. Over here you have Donkey Kong, Bowser, Peach, Toad, and obviously you have Mario up there spinning. It's cool they use kind of like the 8-bit version and the more modern version that spins with that logo, as you can see. Boom, and there's the newer version, which is awesome. Kind of like a Rainbow Road design right here. And then we are kicked out right next to the carousel. But it is getting hot, and I actually need to go ahead and fill up my cup. I need to get some electrolytes in my system as the heat is coming. But I want to point out, there's the portal. Right next to the portal, you're going to see this fun fountain here with Mario. And then right next to it, actually in Celestial Park, you're going to have a Nintendo store. So you actually can still shop for a bunch of Nintendo merch right here in Celestial Park. You don't actually have to go into the portal, which is pretty cool. And I know a lot of people have pointed this out, but I'll point it out as well. You do have your references for Zelda. So you have Ganondorf, Zelda, and Link all up there. And on the ground over here, you can see we have the Great Sword right here as well, with all of the Zelda design here, which is kind of crazy. We have nothing Zelda yet in the parks. Maybe eventually, no idea. It would be cool. But what's really fun about this whole store is the fact that you have a lot of like the 8-bit stuff up there as well, more Zelda. And then up on the ceiling, something that's super cool is the fact that you can see all of these kind of like constellations that deal with the Mario characters. When you are leaving, and if you just kind of look around, you will find Pikmin all over, by the way, as you can see the one under Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong up there, which I think is always kind of fun to see that they're adding little touches that you just wouldn't totally expect. But goodbye Toad and Toadette. We are continuing on our Celestial Park bonanza over here. Now just to give you an idea, once again, Atlantic over there, Super Mario Portal right there. You have the Super Mario store that's in Celestial Park right there. And then right next to that, you have bathrooms that are attached then to Pizza Moon. Now, Pizza Moon is delicious. It is probably the best theme park pizza I have ever had. They also do have beer and wine that you can see on the sign. It is beautiful in here. It is one of the best looking restaurants that I feel like I've ever seen in a theme park. It is just so creative, and I absolutely love it. You can see there's a line now forming. We are right around lunchtime. Now, as you walk in, you will see how beautifully well designed this is. Like I said, it smells like pizza. It just is beautiful. The creativity that Universal did here is awesome. I want to show you some of the art here on the wall. You can see different things and characters that are just doing different variations. So this one clearly has some toppings. I think my favorite is the cheese grater. There's the little rocket, which is also just hilarious. Now either way, they do have a little area with some alcohol over here. I love that we have like the queen up there with her pizza cutter. Also, those pizza slices will close. We'll see if we can catch it here in a minute as we are kind of talking about the rest here. We do have Coke freestyle machines inside as well. You have the giant pizza oven over here to the right. As you can see, all the fresh pizzas being done. It is not just for looks, by the way. It is usable. But I am really hoping that we get some Pizza Moon merch at some point soon. Again, look at that pizza oven. It's amazing. But again, the design is just incredible in here, and I highly recommend, if you guys like pizza, try this place out. It is very worth it, and it's actually also pretty dang affordable. What is also awesome is all of the Coke freestyle machines are all a little bit tuned to whatever world they are in. So this one looks a little bit more celestial, being inside of Celestial Park, and you actually have unique drink options depending on where you go. So here they have the Celestial Spritz and the Celestial Spritz Zero, if you guys are looking for that. So that's always nice to see that like some of the worlds, not all of them, do have unique drinks. I wonder if we'll get more in the future. But the Celestial Spritz is actually pretty good. here is the menu for Pizza Moon if you guys are interested in seeing what they do offer. Again, we tried just the classic pepperoni. I've heard good things about a lot of the pizzas here. The next thing I think I want to try here is that brownie eclipse. That looks super, super good. Now they do have outdoor seating here at Pizza Moon. It is a little warm out, so maybe not your first choice, but as it gets cooler later in the year, you may kind of opt into that. I think it might be some beautiful views. But let's continue walking around here. And right behind us, we do have one of our 2 attractions that you will find here inside of Celestial Park, and this is the Constellation Carousel. This is not your traditional carousel. I can already see them. They are going around, bopping up and down. These things are a lot of fun. It is actually a really good time. I highly recommend at least doing it once. It isn't your traditional carousel, but something that's really cool about this carousel I want to show you is on the ground outside of the ride itself. So right there, you would think nothing of it. All of those kind of like stained glass windows of sorts. But look on the ground over here. The reflection from the sun actually makes them phases of the moon. Tell me that is not super cool. As we continue around, you can see, and then we finally have the full moon over here, and then it will start to actually transition back into a slimmer moon as you go around. So all of these up here, you don't really see it from the outside, but if you look on the ground again, you will see that it is like this sweet transition all the way around. Now, Constellation Carousel is a very cool ride, like I already mentioned, but what's really unique is I feel like as you ride it, you're gonna start to get attached to one of the characters. You know, you might be like, I really like the rabbit, or, you know, the ram, the phoenix, the dragon, whatever. They are all based on the constellations as well, which is a lot of fun. They also do have a disability access one over there, so if you're in a wheelchair, that peacock, I believe, right there, you actually can get on. It has like a little ramp that will come down, which is really nice. Every single one of these has at least 2 seats. As you can see by the rabbit right there, there are always 2 seats. And then these ones here actually have 3, where you can sit on both sides there and there. And right in the middle, there is a seat. There are 8 songs, by the way, all different. And I believe 2 of them will kind of, I don't know, give you a little spruced up version where you actually go in reverse. And it's almost like a club music, I kind of feel like. That's the one we had, we didn't realize. So as you wait in line, there's a good chance that you don't hear the same song more than maybe twice, which is actually pretty cool. Now, on the other side of the Constellation Carousel, you do have your other Starbucks. So as I mentioned, there are a few of them throughout the park. Here you go. Here's another Starbucks location. We have tried this one. We haven't tried the one up front, and they've done pretty good. You also have a stage right here, and then a walk path over there to Meteor Astropub, which we'll go take a look at in a second. But again, just to kind of get an idea of where we are, and you can also see Helios in the back there. We also have entertainment out here, making it look like a statue. They have to be so hot right there. So very much kudos to surviving this heat, which is just incredible. Traversing around the outside of the park, we are going to come up to the Oaken Star Tavern. Now, we have tried this food. This is a barbecue style restaurant that also includes the Plastered Owl, which is a bar right on the other side. Now, if you want to see that entire review, we do have a video all on that. Now, again, it wasn't a full in-depth review, but we did try out the food, and again, very, very good food. It is a little pricey. I will say, out of everything that we've tried at Epic Universe, this has been kind of the priciest for the smallest portion size, but it's barbecue, and I guess it's a little bit to be expected. Now, again, this is very much a woodsy vibe of the entire restaurant here. And as you walk in, you smell what smells like barbecue and wood. It's just crazy how different every restaurant is themed. It's very, very nice in here. And again, they use kind of this woodsy style. All of the walls have paintings on them. There are actually different critters that exist on them. There is seating actually on both sides, so you can sit on either side. By the way, point of sale purchase is over here. And yeah, just absolutely beautiful. One thing that I really love about this restaurant is the stained glass that they use. It is just insanely cool how much stained glass, how beautiful the stained glass is, and you can really see it from the inside there. And then, of course, our themed Coca-Cola freestyle machines. And like I was saying, all of the booths, rather, I think I said tables, but all of the booths have stained glass on the backs of them. Again, we did point all of this out when we ate here, but it is super, super nice. If you come in and go to the right, however, you will find more seating, but more importantly, you will find the Plastered Owl. This again is the bar that you could come grab some drinks at. And again, a nice, fun, different design here with all of the woods, creatures, and stained glass up top as well. They also do have outdoor seating here if you guys are looking for that, as you can see. And you get to look out into Celestial Park. Not quite the views of Atlantic, but it is nice and serene out here. And again, bringing the park back into theme park. Let's talk a little bit about that. It's really interesting when you look at Celestial Park because it is one of those areas that doesn't have a ton of story that is available to you, but if you dig into it, there is a fun history that is being started here. And I just love that Universal Creative got to make their own design. They got to make their own thing and kind of design the whole identity of Epic Universe. And it all starts in Celestial Park. And just to kind of give you like the Spark Notes version, the Kronos, which is like that big clock-like tower that you see when you walk into the park, which I'm sure many of you guys know at this point what that is, but that is basically harnessing this power that nobody knows where it came from. The Celestians, which are the people that exist inside of Celestial Park, have no idea. They just know it is super powerful and it is able to actually open up portals into the universe that allow you to kind of like transport through. And that is why you are able to go to all of these different universes or kind of worlds that exist inside of Epic Universe. So that's why you can go to Super Nintendo World or Dark Universe, Isle of Berk, Ministry of Magic, etc. So you're going through these giant portals because they're harnessing the power of the Kronos, and when everything aligns, those portals open for us to explore. And I just think it's a beautifully well-designed idea to the park. However, I wish there was a little bit more story that you could kind of get while being in the land. If you do ask some of the team members, they can obviously tell you some of that. But I would love to start to see more story elements start to kind of arrive inside of Celestial Park because it is, again, the heart of Epic Universe. And I'd love for that to kind of be portrayed a little bit more. But either way, a beautifully well-designed story. And at least it's a good start here. And I'm excited to kind of see how it develops in time. And again, Universal stated that they want to bring the park back into theme park, and that is exactly what everything inside of Celestial Park is it is your park. You know, a lot of times older theme parks kind of had like more of like a park aspect, kind of garden style to them, and then they built around that. And so that is what you get here in Celestial Park. It feels very mumuch like a park. That is what they are going for. A lot of times I hear people say like, oh, you know, it's just like openness and, you know, it just looks like a park basically, but that's what it's meant to be. It is meant to be this park style vibe here. It isn't meant to be one of these, you know, high stimulating worlds like you're gonna find in all four of these portals right now. So just keep that in mind when you guys are traversing through Celestial Park. It is meant to be like a very serene park. That is the whole concept of it. It's a celestial park. Again, just so you guys are aware, that's kind of the little backstory to it, and it's cool. I want them to tell the story a little bit more throughout the land. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We don't have anybody kind of like expressing the story, so you kind of have to ask about it, but it is cool nonetheless. I just think I'd like to, you know, have more storytellers or something, so that way people know exactly why you're here. I don't know how much people necessarily care about it. You know, people like myself do, but I don't know about the like average guest, to be fair. Now, we were just over there at the Oak and Star, but right in front we do have the Frosty Moon right here, and we have the Celestiki bar right over here. So you could find more kind of tropical drinks. I think they actually have the Returi Fusion or the Punch, I think, that drink from Volcano Bay. If I'm not mistaken, I think they have it over here. And then you have Frosty Moon, like I said, where you can pick up some nice, fun ice cream options. But funny enough, one of the best treats I've had in the entire park has been from here, and it was the cookie. It's like the chocolate chip cookie, not like the birthday one or whatever. It's just like the traditional kind of cookie that they have. I think it's like chocolate chip or whatnot. Super, super good. Now, as you kind of rotate around, you will see this little merch stand, which sells what seems to be a lot of kind of summer gear. You have shades, flip-flops, hats, I'm sure sunscreen, things like that, and some generic merch for Epic. But then over here, we do have our Dark Universe portal. And then right off to the right, you are actually going to see the other Concierge, but they do have them by every single portal. It looks like they have drained the fountains right now, so they may be doing some work on these, possibly in preparation, because we are just 3 weeks away from opening day. So yeah, just so you can see all the tech there. That is absolutely crazy. But next to the Concierge here at, again, the Dark Universe portal would be the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant. You can also see some of the umbrellas here that are available for some of the seating. I am definitely starting to feel the heat. In Celestial Park, there is not a whole lot of shade. People talk about it. They have been adding more and more umbrellas. You can start to see them around, but it is definitely a concern. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated. Make sure that you guys are wearing sunscreen, have your hats, everything like that. Anything pertaining to the sun, come prepared because it is pretty warm and you got a lot of direct sunlight here. Now don't forget, around the park you will see these signs that will kind of point you in the directions of any of these things that you see listed here. And we have covered a lot off to the right, but now we are continuing to the left here over towards the Ministry of Magic. But first we will pass the Helios Grand Hotel. If you guys have not yet, make sure to check out our Helios stay. We go over the whole process, which basically lets you walk into the park. Not basically, it does. It lets you walk right into the park from the hotel lobby. Incredibly easy access. Beautiful views, especially if you get the theme park view. You do have to specify if you want that. It is a little bit more expensive for it, but it is a beautiful, beautiful view. We also went to Bar Helios, which was up top, took a look at the entire park in the evenings. It is seriously such an insane hotel. I feel like it like ruins the experience for other hotels because it's like nobody else will have that easy of an access to a theme park, I feel like ever, because you have to like build it into the model. It's just, oh, it's insane. Absolutely insane. Loved the hotel. But yeah, so you can see the entire thing behind us as we are traversing now over to the Ministry of Magic. There is Apollo. Again, now he is in charge of the daytime lights and kind of the vibes of the daytime. Luna is in charge of nighttime. However, we need to continue on over here to Ministry as we are kind of wrapping up on the back side here and kind of getting close to being done. There is Meteor Astropub, which we will check out in just a second, but right here you can see we have a Coca-Cola stand, and you can see up top we have a celestial being holding a Coca-Cola bottle, and here you can find a few fun little things, kind of like you could at the other one with the popcorn. Here you're going to have some snacks like the churros. You're gonna have multiple different versions of churros, and then the pretzels all right there, as well as your beverage options that you could expect to see at any of the Coke stands. As we approach Ministry, we can also see another one of those stands here that is selling merchandise, and I'll point out the Concierge again over here as we go check this out. So there is Concierge, and the entrance to the Ministry is right here. Let's continue moving forward as we see Stardust right there, out there enjoying a nice ride. More information signs over here to the left that you can find all throughout the park, and you can see some of the wait time. Stardust 45 minutes. Battle at the Ministry does actually say closed right now, which is interesting. It is currently 1:46 p.m. Park closes at 9 p.m. LeCirque, the next showing 3:45. Entrainable 3:30, so it'll give you some nice information here. Not too bad of waits today. It is a busier one. They have started to increase some of the capacity here for the previews. Anybody can show up now. It is no longer just pass holders and hotel guests, so yeah, it is a little bit more busy now. Oh, Stardust Racers. I want to talk about this ride briefly here with you guys for just a second. There's quite a bit to talk about, but I do just want to go over it for just a minute. A beautifully well-designed attraction here. Now, much like many of the attractions here at Epic Universe, you do have your standby entrance over here to the left. You have Express here in the center. You have Single Rider, which is currently closed. Let's talk a little bit about, wow, this is hot. Let's talk about Stardust. This ride is insane. It is a ton of fun. Some unique aspects of this ride. Number one, it is a dueling coaster. That is what they call it. I call it more of like a song and dance coaster. You know, the way that you weave together, it is incredibly well designed. A lot of people will tell you the green side is more intense. It's the better ride. I genuinely feel like the yellow side is a little bit more intense. It rattled Nicole up, not to the point like it was bumpy, to the point she was like, wow, like that was like intense. I felt the same way. Yellow side might be a little bit more intense. People will tell you, however, that green is. I don't know if I agree with that. However, I do think green is the better visual side, as you get better moments that you can see the other coaster a little bit more. This ride is also the best ride at nighttime in any theme park. And no, I'm not talking about Epic. I'm not talking about just Universal, Disney, whatever. Any theme park. This is the best night ride I've ever been on. Also, a little tip, don't do the front row at night because then you can't see the dueling aspects as much. I would recommend either middle or back so you can see the coasters as they are like completely like dueling and kind of coinciding with each other as they just like twist all over the place. Very, very good ride. Also, it utilizes a double launch system where you are actually launching. It'll launch you once, and then halfway through, you get launched again. It is a crazy feeling. Super, super cool. One last thing I want to talk about as they are cruising by right now is it actually has probably my favorite line in the entire park, which is they tell you, we have lassoed down the comets. It is your job to race them. And it's so simple, but it's so fun, and it just kind of sets you up for this fun little vibe in here. They don't play it very often. There are times where we wait, I feel like a little less than 30 minutes, and sometimes I feel like I don't hear it. I don't know how often they play it. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention, but it's a very cool way to explain what's going on. They lassoed these comets down. You are now racing them through the skies. From what I heard, I think that's how they used to travel around here, is they used to travel by comet, and that is like where the whole like concept came from. And then eventually now you are kind of racing them. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. A very, very cool coaster. Not the craziest theme in the queue or anything like that, but it's a lot of fun. It keeps it kind of simple, fits the vibe of Celestial, which is a little bit more, I guess like, you know, minimalistic in a sense, but it is so, so cool. Never experienced anything like this, especially at nighttime. And the views, even if you're not a coaster person, you don't want to ride, just come hang out right over here where I'm standing and just like hang out right here and just watch as this coaster goes by. And there they go again. Oh, it's so incredibly cool. Also, any fans of Back to the Future, you will see on the back of the trains, they do have the flux capacitor there, which is actually pretty cool. You can see it on the backs, and yeah, it's just a nice little ode to like OG Universal stuff, you know? Now on the back side of Stardust here, or I guess the front side, depending on how you're looking at it, you will see the fountains here that are still not going. This also looks to be drained right now. Normally, there are fountains that are coming to life. I guess this wasn't the best day to do our Celestial Park kind of tour because we are missing some of the fountains, but I will put some footage in so you guys can see it when I'm talking here. But the lights, you can see very faintly, they change as well. You can see it better in the evenings, but right behind us here, you do have Bar Zenith and Meteor Astropub. And we'll go ahead and walk inside Meteor Astropub. But again, a few bars around here, which is really nice. Something else that's really, really nice is a lot of areas in this park have water bottle fill stations right here. And they have the one that you can actually put the water bottle. It's not just kind of like the normal fountains, which I really appreciate. It just makes it a lot easier. Obviously, I think you could still just go over to any of the Coke Freestyle machines and fill up there. But you know, if you just are on the go, easy enough to do those. In the evenings, Meteor Astropub and Pizza Moon are probably my two favorite signs that are lit up, and I just think they look amazing. But also, I've pointed this out quite a bit if you have seen my other videos here at Epic. Do you see how lit up that is in the middle of like daylight? They use some sort of technology with the screens that makes it very easy to see. There's times where I have my phone screen brightness all the way turned up and I still can't see it in front of my face. The fact that I can read everything from here is just insane. Well, let's go take a quick look inside of Meteor Astropub. And as we head in, I have not been in here yet, so this is all new to me. But it looks really nice. I like, they almost have, what is that, like Zeus or Hercules or somebody holding up like a giant like keg there. A little bit more simplistic than some of the others, but it feels like a pub. I think that's exactly what they're going for. You know, I feel like you get a little bit of fun little design in here, and you can see even on like the walls, you have some of the painting over there. Kind of just like Astropubby style, if you will. I do really like the coloring choices here. I kind of like this like blue on blue, a little darker and lighter. You do have restrooms here as well, right over there along the wall. And then here is our design. This might be one of my favorite designed Coke Freestyle machines. I like this kind of like light green with the yellow and how it's like shooting there, like a little meteor. I like that a lot, it pops. I'm also a huge fan of the fact that as soon as you walk in here, you have like this really nice pub style bar, and you can like walk right into it, order your drinks if you'd like. I love that they have the hops capacitor, lunar libation level, every little detail. I think they use quite a number of local breweries as well. I can see the Crooked Can there, which is local here in Orlando. Super, super cool. Also love the giant meteor right back there. Let me show you that. So right there, you can see the giant meteor going through the center of the restaurant. Absolutely love it. All right, let's head back on out. Give me merch of every single restaurant. I would buy merch for every single restaurant here, everything in Celestial Park. I would have a piece of merchandise for it. As we are walking around right now, I do want to point something out when it comes to Celestial Park and kind of why it means a lot to myself. And I feel like a lot of other like pass holders and Universal fans. So every single world here, like I mentioned, is an IP-based world. You know, Dark Universe has the classic monsters, Nintendo, Mario, and all the Nintendo IP. Wizarding World and Ministry is all obviously Harry Potter. Isle of Berk, How to Train Your Dragon. Celestial Park, as I mentioned, is like their creativity. And if you're a big fan of Universal, you love to see like what they can create. It's the same reason, and I've mentioned this before, that you go to Halloween Horror Nights and sometimes those original houses tend to be like your favorite because it's just like the creativity is like out of this world. And I think when they can really show how fun and innovative they can be with certain aspects of things, I think it's just such a cool experience. So like not having the merch right now, I think is like a big blow to like pass holders and kind of like people that are, you know, like really big into the company versus just like maybe your traditional visitors and people that are guests, where like, again, I think a lot of like locals and again, people that are pass holders, that's what I just kind of keep saying. Those people are the people that I think really are so engrossed in Celestial Park, is because like it can be this crazy awesome land that you get to just like hang out in, especially hopefully at some point in the future if they release passes. Like I feel like a lot of people, locals, are just gonna hang out here. And so I'm hoping that we get some merch and like, again, the meaning behind it, there's so much impact there. I don't know if I would call it my favorite land, because like, I mean, every world is just absurdly insane, but there's something super beautiful about it and just hanging out. It's like you never wanna leave unless you're going to a ride. Like I feel like I just want to hang out here, and then it's like, okay, like where are we going to like visit? You know, it's like this is like home, and everywhere else is kind of like a mini trip when you go through the portals. So it's kind of just like a cool little thing that I feel like, again, as locals and pass holders, it just means like that much more, because it's like the creativity of Universal. It's not IP that's like holding the whole thing together, and you know, that's what the whole land is based off of. It's like, no, this is just like what they designed. They just kind of came up with it. It's their storytelling. And I always think that's a lot of fun. Now right here we have Astronomica, which is actually a splash pad of sorts. I have seen it going one time. I don't know if they plan to use it too often. I know that they can sync up everything with the shows that you can see around here. So it is something to kind of keep in mind that this whole area might be a little mini splash pad that's going on. One of my favorite things about the Astronomica is, again, it is a compass rose, and you can see, look, it has directions. I've pointed this out before, but as you can see, Dark Universe, there's the arrow. The Dark Universe is right there. Right over there, we have Helios, and right in front of us is Helios. And you can literally circle around and point them all out. We have the Wizarding World, which we just went to, and you can see the giant wand beyond Meteor Astropub. Right here, we can see a little sign for Stardust. So they point you in the direction that everything is. I think that's just a little fantastic small detail that not a lot of people are paying attention to. As we are wrapping around back to the front, our last portal will be Isle of Berk here. We have another stand over there with merchandise. Right here, you actually have a little walk path that you can go across the center. This is Star Sui Bao, actually. I was gonna say another food stand, but this one specifically is the Star Sui, or Star Sui, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a bao stand. Now, I have not tried them yet, and we will eventually try everything in here. Oh, there goes Hiccups right now. But then we have our portal for How to Train Your Dragon, and then we have right next door, more food. So this is your snack stand here, and then straight up the ramp will bring you in to the Concierge. Now, we do have what looks to be some sort of restaurant here that I don't know, it doesn't look open. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Now, so you guys are aware, this is the only world that has a water ride. It is the only one in the entire park. It is over here. It's called Fire Drill, just so you guys are, you know, informed, because again, it is very hot out here today, and I wouldn't mind getting on that, to be honest with you. But yes, Isle of Berk has the only water ride in all of Epic Universe, at least for now. But as we now exit Berk and head back towards the front of the park, we're going to film our next video, which will be a video based on everything you need to know before visiting Epic Universe. It is going to have a lot of details on just all of like the stuff within the lands, certain things to kind of keep in mind. It will be a very informative video. You know, this is more of a detailed tour of Celestial Park. Again, here's that restaurant that is not open as of right now. I am curious to see what happens with it. No sign or anything there either, but it is large. It's probably one of the largest restaurants I've seen around the area. I don't know, I guess a lot of them are quite huge, to be honest. But again, that right up there is the Sensorium Emporium, and then Starbucks, and that is the entranceway. And that is our tour here of Celestial Park. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed our tour here of Celestial. Again, I think this is one of those lands that many people just like, they just go right through it and they don't think about it. They're just like, like I'm going to wherever I want to go. I want to go to Mario or Dark Universe. Spend some time here. It's a beautiful, beautiful land. The food inside of Celestial is absurdly good. It's just a vibe here. It is beautiful. I understand you're going to want to go to the worlds that you want to go to, but take a little bit of time. And if you only have one time that you're going to kind of hang out here, do it in the evening. It is a completely different experience in the evening. The entire park is a different experience in the evening. Also, if you haven't seen that video, we just released that where we basically just hang out in the last hour of the park as the sun goes down, and we show you all the fun lights and everything. So beautiful. Now, if you did enjoy touring this beautiful land known as Celestial Park, please give this video a big thumbs up. Like I said, it means so much. It is a free way to support the channel. I hope you guys were able to learn and navigate this beautiful, beautiful area. All of the greenery, the water, everything just flows. Even though we did not get to see the fountains going, it is still so incredibly cool. You guys will still see some video of it from our other trips here. I cannot recommend enough that you need to come spend a little bit of time inside of Celestial. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me here today as I'm sweating. I feel like I look crazy. There is some heat. If you guys are interested, make sure to check out our other videos exploring the other worlds here. They will be coming out in time. It gets a little expensive to come to Epic Universe. There are no passes, so as of now, we are paying money every single time we want to show up and make videos. That's why I said supporting the channel in the freest way possible, which is just sharing the video, liking the video, helps out a ton. It helps make sure that we can get back out here and get these videos filmed for you guys. But now it is time to film our top 10, basically everything you need to know about Epic Universe before visiting when you guys are making your trip. Thank you guys for hanging out with me here today at Epic Universe, and more specifically, Celestial Park. But more importantly, thank you for being here.